Listen closely, because this story does not ask for your time, it demands your attention. Think of the last person you judged in silence, the stranger you dismissed, the face you decided you understood in seconds. Now imagine discovering that single judgment quietly reshaped a life, maybe yours. This is not a story about being kind when it is easy. This is a folk tale about the cost of being certain when you should have been curious. In a small riverside town tucked beneath pine-heavy skies in northern Canada, there lived a man named Luc Tremblay. People said his name with a pause, as if it carried weight they could not explain. He was known as quiet, too quiet. He walked with his shoulders slightly hunched, eyes lowered, boots always worn at the heel. He worked at hours, took the long way home, spoke only when necessary. And in a town where everyone noticed everything, that made him suspicious. Stories filled the empty spaces Luc left behind. Some said he was rude. Some said he was hiding something. Some said silence was proof of guilt. Others decided he was simply strange, which somehow felt worse. Children were pulled closer when he passed. Cashiers ended conversations early. Neighbors nodded without warmth. Luc felt all of it. He felt the distance like cold seeping through walls at night. Years earlier, Luc had not been like this. He had once laughed loudly, stood tall, spoken freely. He had been the kind of man who helped shovel snow without being asked, who fixed broken steps for elderly neighbors, who waved first. But life does not ask permission before it changes you. It simply arrives. One winter evening, a fire tore through the old mill near the river. It was fast and unforgiving. By the time sirens arrived, the flames had already swallowed half the building. Luc was inside that mill, not trapped, not careless, but trying to pull someone else out. Oh, he barely knew. A boy everyone assumed was already gone. Luc got him out. The boy survived. Luc did not escape. And changed. Smoke damaged his lungs. Fire burned deep scars across his back. And something else broke too, quietly, where no one could see. When Luc returned to town weeks later, he moved slower. He spoke less. He avoided questions because answers felt heavier than silence. People filled that silence with their own conclusions. Time passed as it always does, without apology. The town continued judging, and Luc continued living between their glances. He accepted work no one wanted. He fixed roofs in the cold, cleared fallen trees after storms, carried groceries for those who did not ask his name. He did these things quietly, not to be seen, but because the world still needed small repairs. One autumn afternoon, a young woman named Maren moved into town. She came with city shoes and tired eyes. She had left something behind, something heavy. And she hoped the quiet would help her forget. She noticed Luc immediately, not because he stood out, but because everyone else subtly moved away from him. That alone made her curious. At the market, she watched him pay for extra bread and leave it on a bench. She saw him kneel to fix a loose wheel on a stranger's cart without a word. She noticed how his eyes softened around children, even though parents pulled them closer. Maren had learned something hard in her own life. People who are avoided often carry stories others are afraid to hear. One evening, as rain pressed low against the town, Luc slipped on the river path. His breath caught, sharp and frightening. Maren was there. She hesitated, just for a moment, hearing all the stories. Then she stepped forward anyway. She helped him sit. She listened as his breathing steadied. She did not ask questions. She did not fill the silence. She simply stayed. That night changed nothing and everything. The town did not suddenly see Luc differently, but one person had chosen curiosity over judgment. And that choice would ripple outward in ways no one expected. Weeks later, the river swelled with early snowmelt. A bridge cracked overnight, cutting off the far side of town. Panic followed quickly. Supplies were limited. Temperatures dropped. Luc knew that bridge better than anyone. He had helped repair it years ago. He knew where it would fail next. While the town argued, Luc acted. He worked through the night with frozen hands and aching lungs, reinforcing weak points, redirecting water flow, doing what he always did, quietly. When dawn came, the bridge still stood. The town crossed safely. No speeches, no applause, just survival. Someone finally asked how he knew what to do. Luke shrugged and said he had been there before. That was all. The truth surfaced slowly. Like ice breaking on a river, people learned about the mill fire. They learned about the boy. They learned about the scars beneath Luke's coat. They learned that silence had never meant indifference. It had meant pain. People felt shame, but shame does not rewrite the past. It only changes the future if you let it. Luke did not become louder. He did not seek forgiveness. He continued walking the long way home. But something shifted. People looked twice. They listened longer. They asked before assuming. Children waved first. This story is not about Luke being a hero. It is about how easily we become judges with incomplete evidence. It is about how fast we decide who deserves warmth and who can survive the cold alone. It is about remembering that every person you pass is carrying a story you did not help write. Before you decide. Before you label. Before you pull away. Think. Not every quiet person is hiding. Not every rough edge is a warning. Some are scars. Some are survival. The world does not need faster judgments. It needs deeper pauses. So the next time someone feels easy to dismiss, remember Luke Tremblay. And ask yourself a better question. Not who is this person, but what might they have lived through. Because sometimes, the life lesson is simple and costly at the same time. Stop misjudging people. Think before you decide. And you may discover the quiet ones have been holding the world together all along.